Imagine it is the late 1600s. In the Fujian province of China, the air is thick with political unrest. A young man named Lam, or Lam-co, looks at the horizon and realizes his future isn't in his homeland. He travels to Manila, not just as a migrant, but as a man looking to build an empire from scratch. But there was a problem. In the eyes of the Spanish colonial government, being a Sangli, a pure Chinese immigrant, meant you were a second-class citizen. You were taxed higher, restricted to living in certain areas like the Parian, and viewed with constant suspicion. Lam-co knew that to survive, he couldn't just work harder. He had to evolve. At 35 years old, a significant shift happened. On a Sunday in June 1697, Lam-co walked into the Parian Church of San Gabriel. He wasn't just there for a ritual. He was entering a new social class. He took the name Domingo, the Spanish word for Sunday, marking the day of his spiritual and social rebirth. He didn't come from nothing either. Back in China, his parents were known as Xiongko and Junnio. Those suffixes, they were the 17th century equivalent of Don and Doña. He had the blood of the elite, and he intended to keep that status in the Philippines. Now, here is the masterstroke. In 1731, Domingo made a strategic choice that would protect his family for generations. He dropped his Chinese name and adopted the surname Mercado. Why Mercado? It means market. It was a brilliant badge of identity. It told the Spanish, I am a merchant. I am part of your economy. I am a businessman you can trust. By choosing this name, he effectively cloaked his descendants. He shielded them from the heavy Sangli taxes and the racial prejudices of the time. He wasn't just changing a name. He was building a fortress for his future great-great-grandson, Jose. Domingo eventually moved to the Dominican estate in Biñan, Laguna. He didn't just settle there. He led. He married Inés de la Rosa, a young Chinese Christian woman, and together they became pillars of the community. Domingo was the man everyone wanted as a godfather. He was the man who helped found the wealthiest part of the estate, Tubigan Barrio. When his son Francisco was born, the man who would become Rizal's great-grandfather, the foundation was already set. The family was no longer just immigrants. They were the Mercados, wealthy, respected, and strategically positioned at the heart of Philippine society. Class, think about this. If Domingo Lam-co hadn't had the foresight to rebrand himself as a Mercado in 1731, Jose Rizal might have grown up in a ghetto, burdened by taxes he couldn't afford, with no access to the elite education that eventually fueled the revolution.